Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You remember that saying, a thief entering a room will immediately know who the thieves are in a room, and the thieves in a room immediately will notice the new thief. Thief. That's the way it is. The same with the cheaters in family affairs. A cheater will immediately figure out who's a cheater and who's not a cheater. That's the way it is. Now the same here. A tyrant will always recognize another tyrant. So let me recognize a tyrant. And his name is the Polish Prime Minister. That's a tyrant. Mateusz Morawiecki. That's a tyrant. And I recognize him as a tyrant. If you know what I mean. So, Ukraińska Prawda from November 18th. And I'm quoting, if we don't support Ukraine, war will come to us. Polish Prime Minister on the missile crash in that village. So, let's see. Mateusz, I will say Mateusz MM, is the Prime Minister of Poland, believes that the missile crash in the village proves that if Ukraine does not get more support, the war will spread to the territory of Poland. Can you elaborate? I'm not convinced whatsoever. What do you mean the war will come over there? Do you mean the Russians will attack another country? That's how you mean? Or it's going to be accidents? What exactly? And you have to make the connection. I don't get it. Maybe I'm a little bit slow. But anyway. Source, Mr. MM, in a weekend podcast, as reported by European Pravda, citing Polskie Radio Lublin. Polskie Radio Lublin. The Polish Prime Minister reminded the public that the incident in the village was not the first critical situation, giving as an example the immigrants who attempted to climb over the Polish-Belarusian border last year. Whoa! Border, do you mean what? They couldn't enter your country? Hey, in America, that we are free and better than you, we let everybody cross the border in the south. Otherwise, we are racist. Are you huh? It sounds like. Jesus Christ. Are you complaining that the immigrants, the refugees tried to get a better life for their children? Jesus Christ, MM, you're an asshole. And I'm quoting again. We do not know for sure the exact circumstances or reasons for the incident in the missile incident, but we do know the root cause. All right, let me see. You're the foreign minister. Foreign minister is the major, the most important diplomat of a country. That's right? He's foreign minister, is he? Or he's the prime minister? Oh, he's prime minister. Oh, okay, well, I get the bar a notch down, okay? So let's see what evidence, how are you going to make the connection here? But we do know the root cause, the main cause, which is Russian aggression against Ukraine. MM stressed. So Morawiecki stressed. Okay, so as you can see, this tyrant, this person, he starts history when it's convenient to him, and he uses only one aspect. Okay? That's all. Nothing before that exists that could invalidate that or could give kind of circumstances. No, nothing after that. That's the only thing. You have to ignore everything else. This is the prime minister. Imagine that you stay in front of the prime minister and you have to discuss a matter very important about your countries. Let's say my country is Zimbabwe and the other country is Poland. And let's say we have a difference of opinion and we have to negotiate. And he talks like that. What would you do? Would you tell him, yes, Morawiecki, but you see, those guys invaded for a reason. And he's going to answer, no, it was unprovoked, no reason. I'll say, yeah, but can I provide you with some facts, evidence, acts that occurred before that trigger that? Will you be willing to listen? What do you think he's going to answer? You're a bad dude, Mr. Zimbabwean. Emil, I'm a Zimbabwean. Okay, I'm a citizen of Zimbabwe right now. I'm the Prime Minister of Zimbabwe or whatever. So That's what's going to turn. He's not going to listen to, okay, let's go little by little, okay? What happened in December 2021, Morachevich? Nothing? Okay. What did the Russians send to the Americans? Oh, you don't remember? Guarantees for what? Oh, you don't remember? Okay. What happened in the past 8 years in those provinces? They want to separate out of their love in Ukraine. Huh? They were killed, attacked by the Ukraine military. Why? Because they did not recognize the coup d'etat that occurred in Kiev in 2014. Organized by who? Okay, yeah, all right, okay, we're going to go further. Okay, we go to NATO. 2008 Bucharest, you remember that one? What happened in Bucharest in 2008? A weasel, a very low IQ guy, George W. Bush, he said, one day Ukraine and Georgia will join NATO. And Russia was up, what? Say what? Okay, how would you call that? We're going to go back? We can go back. Why are you in NATO? You know you're not supposed to be in NATO, according to the guys who talked to the idiot Gorbachev. Huh? Remember? And said, no 1 inch further east. NATO expansion. And Gorbachev said, okay, yes, davai, let's go. Yeah, good. Where is NATO now, boy? So don't you think that these actions could have been some little cause of what happened in the 24th of February? You know his answer will be? No. They're unrelated. So this is the people you deal with. Let's move on with this fucker. Anyway, he added that, quoting, today there is only one way to drag Poland into the war, namely to turn one's back on Ukraine. No, it's more than that. You need more than that, because he's going to argue, and you see what he's going to argue. Let me read further. To turn one's back on Ukraine, since in the case Ukraine will sooner or later become critically dependent on Russia. Based on what evidence? Why? Maybe it's going to be dependent on Romania. Why do you think Russia? Why not the United States? You are dependent on the United States, and you're very close to Russia. You're closer to Russia than the United States, and you're not dependent on Russia. How come they will become dependent on Russia? Huh? Why not, let's say, Finland? It's close to Russia, borders Russia. Why not it becomes dependent? So you see, you're illogical, Matskevich. All right, move on. And I'm quoting, if Ukraine becomes dependent, if, you didn't prove that one. So fuck off, let's move on. We will not even blah, 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 jerk off, bye, see you never. He remarked that Poland is ready for incidents such as the one in the village and has responses to different possibilities of a hybrid war Russia may wage against Poland. Why would they wage against you? Because you don't like them, they don't like you. Well, you don't like anybody. I mean, if you want to be honest, you don't like the Hungarians, you don't like the Germans, you don't like the Ukrainians, you don't like the Lithuanians. Who do you like? The sea? That's why you like the Baltic Sea? I guess. So, he thinks here, this guy says that if will come to us by itself, Putin will not stop. The Kremlin will go further. Being passive is suicide for us. Okay, what is your proof, evidence that Putin wants to go over Ukraine? Invading eastern Ukraine that was Russia's to defend its population? Let me tell you what, if you have Russian population in your country, all right, and you do not mistreat them, you're fine. You're just fine. If you mistreat them and you kill them, you might see Russian missiles coming. All right? Do you think that's justified or is not justified? Well, I don't expect him to reason logically or anything like that, because he's just a weasel. And he thinks that he doesn't like the war to be over. He wants that as a buffer zone. I understand it. A buffer zone that is politically positive, friendly towards Poland. I get that. That's good. That's nice. But you can't just, how should I put it, assume certain things. Like Russia will come next to us. Why? Why not you going to Russia? Because you're better? No, you're not better. You want? Why don't we just open your history a little bit? Open your history and see your history of trying to, and you did, attack neighbors. Attacked. Not defended. Yourself attacked. You talk about imperialism? Shut your pie hole. Okay? So I think they did bad things, you did bad things. So I don't know why should I say the Russians are worse than you. Why is that? Because now you might have your ass kicked by Russia and you don't know who's beep beep to suck in order to feel defended? Just do your own thing over there. Don't be mouthy as you were for 10 months and right now your balls are hitting the ground like this because you're scared, because all the shit you talked about Russia, thinking that Russia is going to be done with this, with NATO and the United States doing what they did in Ukraine, you thought it was going to be done. That's what you thought. And now you see that the Americans told the Weasel clown boy over there, hey, time's up, you got to negotiate. Pick the spot, pick the time, and let's go, let's move on. And the Poland is like, what? Yeah, what? That's what's going to happen. That's why they want a perpetual war, or Russia to be, or Putin gone, because they decide that. So yeah, this is a tyrant who just wants to dictate what happens in that country for his benefit, which is fine. But at least tell us what you are. And besides, if tomorrow will be, okay, Ukraine doesn't exist anymore, you know what you're going to do the next second? You're going to cross that border in Ukraine and you're going to grab whatever territories you think that belonged to you at one point, which they did, and you will get them back. I guarantee you that. And you will say, well, I'm entitled. I have Polish people over there. I have to defend their interests. Well, that's exactly what the Russians are doing, minus anybody killing your Polish minority in Ukraine. Why do you have Polish minority in Ukraine? Why do they have Poles in Ukraine? Do you remember? Because that portion was given to someone by someone. And why do you have Germans in your territory? In Danzig area. Because that portion was given to you from someone else, by someone else. And it's very interesting that someone else who always gave other people's territories around never took, no territories was taken for them ever. But on the contrary, they always took. And that's the Zimbabwe across the Atlantic. Not my Zimbabwe, but that Zimbabwe. Okay? Not the one I was representing a minute ago with MM in front of me. So, you see, those guys moved borders left and right whenever they felt like. People, lives, cultures, traditions were fucked up in the process, and you tell me that the Russians are fucked up. You want to talk about the Baltic states? Who passed the Baltic states around? Do you remember? Germany and Soviet Union, not Germany and Russia. Germany and Soviet Union. Okay? What do you want? How are you formed in 1918 again? After what? 100, 200 years, 100 and some years? From 1790 something until 1918, you were no country. How are you formed? You take this, and you take this. Did you go to Kiev? After 1918, did you go to Kiev between the wars? Did you attack Ukraine? You did. Why? Why? Oh, because we had to defend the communists, blah, blah, blah. No! Why did you have to go to Kiev? So, you know what I mean? I know certain things and it's enough. Because you think nobody knows anything, and that's true. But once you know two or three things, you already are a genius compared with the masses. And anyway, this is the guy that supposedly is going to talk diplomacy and he's going to represent the interest of Poland and so on. That guy, with that reasoning. Russia was going to come after us. Let's kill Russia. Really? Based on what? You're just an instigator. That's what you are. Mind your own business. Don't mistreat people, and nothing is going to happen to you. And don't attack anybody. Okay? Do not attack anybody to get their lands. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Man.